Hi everyone, my name is Naz and I'm going to be sharing videos here about my healing story and battle with cancer. But before we start, please excuse any outside noises. The purpose of this video is not to create a perfect content in a professional setting. I don't have the time or equipment for the professional production. I just want to share this story, and I know that this story needs to be told. So I've been thinking about making this story for quite a bit, but I wasn't ready, and I guess that was because I was in fear. And for the purpose of not relating to this, I've created a story in a third-person narrative. And I'm going to be reading the story out for you from my notes here, just to make sure that I maintain clarity and consistency for you. It was in January 2024, early January, that the old version of Naz was diagnosed with stage 3 hormone-positive breast cancer with local metastasis in her lymph nodes. This diagnosis was the last thing the old version of Naz could have expected, because she lived healthy lifestyle, she maintained healthy lifestyle, she wasn't a drinker or a smoker, and she was always mindful of what she ate. She exercised regularly, and she was deeply committed to her practices, meditation, mindfulness, and positive thinking. Everything in her life felt right. She felt aligned. But this diagnosis caught her completely off guard. And most importantly, she was a single mother bringing up her daughter on her own. Everything seemed fine until that diagnosis. When something like this hits, it isn't planned. It shocks you so deeply that it feels like your power has been stripped away. Of course, and the first thing any mother thinks about is her child. The fear was, what is going to happen to her daughter if she doesn't make it? There were no parents to step in. The father was barely in contact, and his family was not involved. The only person left was her brother. But he had his own life, his own family. So the thought that haunted her was her daughter, that she would be left alone in the world, especially at a time when she needed her most. But it was in that moment of total shock that a decision was made. Naz was not the type of a person to give up. She had always been a fighter. Even though this felt like too much, she decided she could not give up. The fight wasn't just for her. It was for the life that depended on her. It was that realization, the thought of her daughter being alone, that shifted everything. When you realize that you are the only world your child has, the shock turns into a very sharp, very focused kind of strength. Being a fighter was already in her nature, but this was different. This wasn't just about winning a battle. It was about ensuring a future for both of them. That weight was the catalyst that pushed her to move beyond local protocols and look for every possible advantage and opportunity.